The best part of the show is when I'm totally not on microphone.
Yes, I agree. I love it.
Welcome into our daily show. I am on vacation, but I'm still working. New episodes and interviews. And I thought it'd be cool, seriously, Craig, to have conversations with the Alton Alder people and as well the trustees of Godfrey, just to keep updated with all the projects. There's always something happening. It seems like everyone's working really hard lately, a lot of news lately. How's everything been since the last time you've been on?
First of all, I always thank you. I love it. I've known CJ for a very long time, but he does a great job for Alton. I tell John this all the time.
Thank you.
He is the face of this community. So thank you for what you do. Godfrey's has a lot of good things going on right now. Right now, I guess the big one is the sports complex that everybody's talking about. Gaming is always a hot button with us, but I think we've been doing a great job. Mike Fisher and Sarah, they're heading this up and they're doing a phenomenal job. So we have a lot of good things. We just did a 40 under 40 and it was really cool. Jim Mager did a phenomenal job on getting a group of people just to talk about, hey, what do you want in Godfrey? What is Godfrey going to look like? So, the trustees, we work very hard, the mayor, and we try to make Godfrey as great as it can be.
Well, and you guys are really in such an interesting point of where Godfrey's growth is, because it seems like, you're right on this explosion period where it could be either really great growth or it could be growth that, maybe attracts not so good things down the road. And it seems like everyone really is communicating well within the board of trustees and trying to find that proper vision from the outside perspective anyway.
Well, I love that you brought this up because what has happened when we started talking about the sports complex or sports rec center or whatever you want to call it. I brought this to the table 2 years ago and then a couple people came in and now it's bringing back to the surface. But the cool part about this is the statistics that are coming in. Godfrey has not moved since 2010. There is no growth. Really? That's kind of crazy. So since 2010, it's just been marginal, if anything. Mm-hmm. And we need to be able to figure out, and I've been saying this for a very long time since I've been a trustee and actually before is, how are we going to do this? Godfrey is a phenomenal place to live. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have a plan and what you're going to do going forward in the future, it has a great mixture. It has a lot of older people. It has some younger people.
Yeah.
But guess what? The younger people are not staying here. Mm-hmm. And how are they going to stay here? So that was a great thing with the 40 under 40. We're trying to get as much research as possible to see what's going to bring these families here.
Well, and that's, a really interesting point. And I think that that's one that a lot of communities have and sometimes takes the wrong direction because you're right. There's a cost of living crisis among younger people, and not saying that these are kids that haven't graduated high school or haven't graduated college. I mean, they're folks that get out of college and it's hard finding that entry-level job in your field and you name it. So to have price affordable options and living in a good neighborhood, as long as, we're good neighbors, that's a great problem,
Well, and that is it. It's funny because I just had dinner with my kids last night. I got 26, 24, and 18. Mm-hmm. And, that's the discussion. You guys, it's very difficult for kids coming out of college right now. The price of living is so skyrocketing and the wages are not there. So for somebody to move out on their own and buy everything, they're living paycheck to paycheck. How does that work? So we're trying to figure out how to do that and how to get these younger families to stay here. There's a fine line. So
well, and it's not to cut you off, but it's really interesting for you guys to be almost in a purgatory. I love using purgatory because it's not good because goods grow, right? Not bad as losing people because a lot of communities are losing population by bucket loads over years, and it's good that you haven't lost, you've maintained. But also, like you said, how do we grow it and how do we keep the machine moving for 10 years and 20 years down the line?
Well, I always laugh because when people usually hear growth, they always refer to Eversville.
Right.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We don't want to be that. Nothing against Eversville.
No.
It's great. They're number one. I mean, they're top. Yeah. They're great. Yeah. But that's not what Godfrey is. No. And I truly believe Godfrey is a phenomenal place to live. One of the best parks. Look at the the bike trails that we have. So, but when you grow, like you still have to have growth, and you're still going to have these younger families, because the older ones are no longer going to be there.
Yeah.
And then the younger families, there's nothing really there for them. My kids will say, what are we going to do here? We can go over here, and we have all that. But then you also have to watch out, because if you do, you have to have the numbers to get a lot of the hotels in there. You have to have the numbers to get all these chain restaurants. Godfrey doesn't, I don't think, really wants a million chain restaurants. They don't want a million, but it would be nice to have a nice hotel, a nice restaurant. We have great local restaurants. I mean, you got your Ropers and your Ranch House and all these places like that. Josephine's probably one of the nicest places in the world, and Shivers you can't beat it. But what I'm saying to that is, if you're going to continue to have, and you want this to survive, I actually say survive, then you're going to have to figure out a way to get these younger families in here.
Well, and I think you guys have such a location to do it, and it's such a competitive advantage to so many. I think you and Wood River have the best locations, because you have that major highway that cuts through a good port, and 255 is great, but with what you guys have in knowledge, I think, with Park and Rec, you already have this energy about the sports community you have. Capitalizing on sports tourism. I mean, hell, you know how much those soccer tournaments make. And, I think it's really cool that, I don't know what the plan is, but at least seems that is some of the discussion with this, is that there could be a draw when it comes to sports with the size that Godfrey is, the space that's available.
Go to Glazebrook any night.
Yeah.
And you will, Jordan, Chris, I will tell you, Jim Lewis he does a phenomenal job, and he has made that into a very beautiful park. But go there. People are walking. The fields are jam packed.
It's better.
It's crazy.
You can get into Busch Stadium easier.
It
right
is.
now.
And that's a problem that we have. And we're talked about maybe even getting another field, but parking is an issue. And how do you figure that out? But Glazebrook is a great place to go. Go on those trails. They are one of the nicest trails around. Like, these
thanks
are
for
little
fixing that
things
bridge.
that are great. And I think if we can do this, the sportsplex or complex in a great way, I just think that will be a huge thing for Godfrey. And, I've been an advocate. I was the one who got us there 2 years ago. I got a meeting with Lewis and Clark. I was the one who did all this stuff, and then we kind of pushed it under the thing. Mm-hmm. And then Beth Hines and Liz Campbell and Karen Wilson, great people. They basically said, do it. And they pushed it even harder, and now we're doing it. For some reason, I'm not on the board, which is kind of crazy to me, but I still go there, and I still try to help out in any way possible, because that's me. CJ, there's nobody who probably knows more sports and more different things. So I'm excited about this. And if we do it right, and we partner with Lewis and Clark, or we do this, you can have Godfrey will be phenomenal. You'll get your hotel there.
Oh yeah.
All
that follows suit, I think.
What's that?
I think it all follows suit,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you don't want to grow where you're 20 new businesses on Godfrey Road where you can't pull out, because guess what? I can't get out of here. I'm trying to get out of McDonald's, and it's going to take me 40 minutes. That's what happens in Eversville.
Or you just can't sustain them, and that's the other thing,
right.
Because you have too many businesses and just not enough people. It's not because the businesses are bad. It's just you need 80 people to fill your bar a day or fill your restaurant, and now there's 80 bars to split between 100 people.
Unless you start going to multi-family housing, and I don't think people are necessarily wanting that. We're finding out, I love this job. This is my third year, and I hope next year that the people vote me back in.
Oh, that's right.
I take every phone call. I do a lot of research. No matter if it's good for me or bad for me, I do what the best for Godfrey is. And trust me, I've ran into it several occasions when it's not what I really is conducive to me. But, that is the fun part of being a trustee, is doing the work. And, we have some of those doing that. I mean, the gaming is a big issue right now. And I will tell you, my Fisher and Sarah Woodman they head this up, and they have done a ton of research. We don't really want any more gaming, but we have to figure out, okay, what do we have going forward? And you know,
it's not going anywhere, and you got to address it. You know, and I think it's good to take those issues head on. And why don't we do this? I got to pay a bill.
You got it.
Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Trustee Lombardi right after this.
Firearms training shouldn't feel intimidating. At Precision Point Armory in Bethalto, we focus on safety, confidence, and real-world skills. Whether you're new or renewing your concealed carry, you'll get professional instruction without pressure. Learn safe handling, sound decision-making, and proper techniques tailored to your experience level. If you're looking for premium firearms training in the heart of Bethalto, Illinois, call 618-779-9947 or go to precisionpointarmory.net and train with confidence today.
Struggling with depression that just won't go away? At Precision TMS, we offer a non-invasive, drug-free treatment designed to target the areas of the brain linked to mood regulation. Using FDA-cleared transcranial magnetic stimulation, gentle magnetic pulses help reactivate underperforming brain circuits without surgery or sedation. Many patients experience real relief, even after other treatments haven't worked. Our experienced team provides personalized care every step of the way. Contact Precision TMS today to see if TMS therapy is right for you.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Good, my guy. Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Tom Wells,
an assistant chief of the Godfrey Fire District. He has been a firefighter and an EMT for over 20 years. Tom is currently an instructor in the Lewis and Clark Paramedicine program and has 2 degrees from LC, fire science and nursing.
I'm Tom Wills, and I'm a trailblazer.
If you think you might be pregnant, you don't have to face it alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic, you'll find the care you deserve. We offer confidential, no-cost pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and STI testing. Our team is here to listen, support you, and help you understand your options without pressure or judgment. Walk in or make an appointment today. Call 618-466-1690 or visit vitalitywomensclinic.org. Vitality Women's Clinic, clear answers, real support.
Welcome back. Daily I'm going to be watching this on the beach in Destin and just cracking my ass up because of the commercial break. Back with Trustee Lombardi. Let's talk a little bit more about the gambling thing because I didn't realize it was that big of an issue.
Yeah.
I think for me, is it one of those things, what's Godfrey's position on, and I don't want you don't have to necessarily speak for everybody or just your thoughts on, is it just one of those things? It's just too much machines right now, too many licenses being expended, or?
Well, I kind of probably have to watch what I say because we're still working on a lot of different things. No.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to this is, I a couple of years ago, we basically said we don't want any more machines. So, we had a couple things that were already kind of laid in, and so we're trying to figure out everything in that sense. And we don't really want people going to Godfrey to gamble and do different things like that. And let's face it, we want, if you have a restaurant and you're serving alcohol and you're serving food, that's great. That's fine. That's what we want. But just to be having a gambling machine in there, that's just not really what we want in Godfrey. So
I think you're right. And I think we're in an interesting point too. And I don't know I'm not in control of the gaming board. I don't know what their thoughts are, but eventually, I mean, there's going to be a time where it's all on your phone anyway, because there's slot machines already in New Jersey that you can do online and all these things.
Everything is on your phone.
Eventually, it's going to, I mean, I don't know, but it just seems it would trickle in. But until then, you're right, because it seems like, man, every gas station and grocery store and, and I can see that being a thought for your constituents, especially given Godfrey's, values that, hey, this really isn't us.
It's a tough one for me to comment on because I'm not, I could go on for hours on this. I'm not a big, there's a lot of things that are happening. I mean, your phones are addictive. I just saw a thing the other day. They started in 2008, and they did a research. That's when smartphones started in 2009. They did a little research on it. Anxiety, depression, suicide, up 13%. They know what's going on. They know what's going on with the gambling. It is not good for your mind. It's not good for anything that you're really doing. People do it, and everyone does it, unfortunately, but that's how your mind is done. So if we can kind of clean it out a little bit on our end and Godfrey, that's what I think the most of the trustees would like.
What I think too, or anyone that's saying, why do you want to limit slot machines? I think also too, for a business owner's perspective, if 5 years ago you had slot machines in, you weren't one of very few, but it was still more sporadic than, now all of a sudden you're spreading the wealth between, 32 other businesses that might not necessarily be restaurants even. You know what I'm saying? It's
and there's that too.
So
but they it's just a difficult one because the businesses like it, some of them, but
don't let me get you in trouble here.
You're never getting, I mean, I'm that's what my job is, to be a trustee, and I don't play the favorites and different things of that nature, but it's a very difficult one out there. And I think we have a great group of trustees that are working very hard to make sure that this is taken care of. So
other thing I did, and this is just seriously top of my head, what's going on with Delmar? Are they going to start, is the construction on that still starting? Do you know of, or the roundabout projects?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll plead the fifth.
Okay.
I really don't know when that starts. There's conversations that goes here, but I don't really know. But that will be fun.
Let me ask you good questions now. Let me ask you some good questions.
Yes.
What's been something you're most proud of so far as trustee, as the board of trustees this time around? With a couple of new members, I believe. Is there anything that you guys have been able to get through the finish line that you're pretty impressed with?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what you're asking there. As far as what I think we're doing since I've been a trustee, I think we've done some great things. We've got the pickleball lights. That's huge.
Cool,
Go
man.
out there and check that out. I'm just a big sports fan, so
you guys are packed into sardines out there because of how many people play pickle.
But go to Glazebrook on the night.
It's
I mean,
cool.
I sit there and I always laugh. I'm like, okay, so our parks, we're at 1,100 kids playing soccer.
It's incredible.
That is unbelievable.
Charlie Nasello numbers.
Charlie Nasello. Nobody got Charlie Nasello numbers. 1,700. He was awesome. And he really was. I hated every bit of him, but he was made me what he was. And I loved him. So, but, Godfrey's doing very well.
You guys are doing great.
These people. So that's a great thing. But I think the rec center is probably going to be in my eyes, if we do this correctly, which I see this happening, I think Gerard's doing a great job with this, and I think the people on that board are, we have some great people. You got Lori Birch, like you have some of these people that are on there that are very knowledgeable about Godfrey, and I think we're going to make some great decisions for that, hopefully. So
fantastic. Anything else you want to share right now before I'll let you go for now, ma'am?
No, I just, like I said, I appreciate you. I do appreciate all the people in Godfrey. My favorite thing is when I go into a meeting and when it's packed. So
that's good to know. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like last meeting, we had people that are talking that wanted this issue. We had people on this issue. So come in.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk to us and tell us different things, I will tell you, I've changed my mind after hearing conversations from people. I do a ton of research. I know the other trustees do a ton of research. But when you were coming in there and you were giving us information and talking to us, we just had Angie like she came in and was talking, and Mark Magus about the speed bump was there.
Yeah.
And we had people talking about not wanting the speed bump there. Those are great conversations that you're having in Godfrey. Come in and talk to us. That's what I would tell people right now. If you really want to know what I would ask of you, if you have a question or you have a problem, come in and talk to us.
Yeah.
Like we have meetings every 2 weeks, and we don't know everything. My job is for Godfrey, and it always will be. Like cool. It's not. I don't have an agenda per
I like
se.
That.
So
well, and I think that brings up a bigger point, because it happens a lot. I think with Alton, and not taking a shot at Alton citizens, but I think a lot of times a lot of people do go to those meetings, but a lot of people I know don't go to the meetings, and I'm like, you guys can't wait to complain out. Reach out to these older people and let them know how you feel before these things are brought to the floor. And I think that's great that Godfrey has that, and I hope more do, because more involved in the conversation means better decisions made, because you have a clear picture.
Yep. Well, and again, it's not to always bash. I always laugh because I used to go to the alt ones all the time, and I said this to Betsy. I was like, it kind of cracked me up because they would come in and they would only talk about all the things that are wrong.
Yeah.
And I say, what about things you're doing right? Because they're doing things right, and Godfrey is doing things wrong and right. Just talk to us like that. That's all I try to tell people is communicate.
I think too, I said this before, and you're a marketing guy and all that. So, I mean, when you see that as a developer, as an event organizer or anything, and you go, well, let's check out this place. And then you look online and you're like, oh, dear gee, no, because all it is complaints. And there's ways to have conversations. You guys have problems in Godfrey. We all have problems. But when you bring it out to the floor every week, it becomes bad advertisement.
It is. Like we have people that come in, Krista St. Peter's and her husband, they come in, don't say a word. They just want to be involved.
That's cool.
Be involved. Don't complain if you're not involved. And if you want to complain and you're involved, please do it, because we're here to make Godfrey the best. I know that the mayor's wants that, and I know all the trustees want that. So, but like I said, I do hope that next, whatever it is, March or April, that people vote again for me, because I really enjoy this, and I love Godfrey. I always have.
Absolutely.
So
thanks so much for stopping by.
CJ, you're awesome. Thank you.
We are out of time today. I will see you back here for more of the show tomorrow. I won't be here, but I might not even watch, Hey, until then, just try your best to stay out of jail.